it's things that you do and you don't do, you know. Even though I have a history with Larry Hood, you're a personal friend of mine that I consider, you know. So, you know, I've been knowing ever since we were little boys and shit. So now we grown men, one had a freedom, one have them. So I'm just lucky, you know. It's not something that one would brag about, but there's a change in time, you know. We both went through the same thing. So, you know, his level, I respect him as the chairman, as the leader, you know what I'm saying? He had to be someone strong, with a strong mind, a body, you know, to stand up against the elements that the Fed putting in. Because in ADX, you know, that's 24 hours, man, right? In order to live that, you have to have a strong mind. That includes Jeff Ford, too.
If you live in a city, any city, big or small, and you would like for Mr. Rick to come to your town, get as many subscribers as you can in your town, go in the comments, let me know who your OGs are. They could be men or ladies, doesn't matter, as long as they have a great history. Whoever has the most subscribers, I will interview them. We won't pick them, you will pick them. So we'd like to tell those stories. Let me know why Mr. Rick should come to your city and interview the OG ladies and the OG gentlemen. That's it. That's all. OG, two letters that define respect. I created the original OGs to document the forgotten parts of American history. I want to recognize and give a voice to the men and women that have climbed to the top of their game. The men and women this marquee have been authenticated as original OGs. Welcome to my world, a world of the originals, the unique. Welcome to the original OGs. What was the mindset in this school at that time?
I mean, we came to learn something, but it ain't like we.
I know what you came to do.
But we end up fighting every day in this month.
Wow.
We fought against Valley Lord, Supreme Lord, and folk on the Rangers.
Why were there so many gangs?
I knew for different era, different neighborhood.
Everybody just made up a gang in their area.
Damn near.
No, I mean, I understand. That makes sense. I mean, but for me, like, I went to Risen Ore on the west side. And every day I went to school, man, you know, we did.
Right there.
Right on the side of the building, we shot dice and smoked weed all day.
We pitch penny, 2 days.
Right.
And we, you know.
Only class I ever went to was homeroom.
That's about the only class I went to. Only thing I like was the game bang.
Right.
I like to catch them in the hallway, they holler out their club name, I holler out my club name. We go for that.
Elementary school that damn big?
Yeah. We had a spot on the corner, Nick and Angel.
What was it?
Nick and Angel, doesn't that?
What was that?
It was like a restaurant.
Oh, okay, okay.
They sold a jacket, milkshake, and everybody hung out there.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the major spots. If a person say they didn't know Nick and Angel, they weren't considered Main Street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where everybody met at.
Yes, sir.
And at the time,
they had some good food. That was the show place.
And at that time, you were living where?
At that time, I was living 36 in Walbear.
Oh, that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
You guys, the first club was what?
Our first club was 36th Street Boy.
And then that became
Dale Viking.
Del Vikings. We
Yeah.
ain't heard that in a long time. And most of the Del Vikings went here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how long would you say that lasted?
To 91, I guess.
91?
Yeah.
91?
Yeah.
The Del Vikings. So you, wait a minute. 91. So they became a part of the GDs?
Some of them turned GD. Some of them turned BD.
Okay.
And some remained Dale Viking.
Really?
Yeah.
Because GDs came into existence in what, 70 something?
Who, GD?
Yeah.
Well, 60.
Yeah, it had to be in the 60s.
66. When you were a youngster, how old was you then?
Oh shit, I had to be about, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, well,
That was in the 60s.
GD wasn't property then.
Okay, so that had to be the Disciples. Yeah, because they all had blue Tams,
Yeah.
and the Stones had red Tams. So that was Black Disciples or just Disciples at that time?
No, that was Devil then.
Oh, Devil Disciples?
Yeah.
Okay. When did the pitchfork come into existence? And the 6-point star?
Man, we always recognized the 6-point star from day one.
From day one?
I never paid attention to it because it didn't mean nothing.
It didn't mean anything?
Not to me, it did.
Oh, okay. So I know Ike said something, I think it was Ike, said that Larry had went to New York or something, and when he came back, he had this idea, about the 6-point stars and King David.
Yeah, like I said, that's the GE mark, which I'm not too familiar with it, but I know a lot about the organization.
Right.
That 6-point star, it's been with us. The hand Clinton, they were part of the model. And you had different things. Like I hear them talking about who with the 6-point, cause Larry, Jeff Ford, they were 5, we were 6.
Right.
So that tell you that all along we had 6-point star. Everything they had, we did the opposite.
Okay.
They cross over, we cross over. They do it with the right hand, we do it with the left hand, or they do it with the left hand, we do it with the right hand.
Right.
They had the Tim.
You guys had the blue.
We had blue and gray. It was a thing. It was a toss-up of who moving who. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was a challenge to be out here. Most people they stay behind.
Right.
Like I said, the cowards stay at the end of the line, but they got a story to tell. They might fabricate and say anything, I was there. Yeah, you were there, but you were hiding behind that tree,
Right.
So you make your own story up and, tell it to a guy and they believe it,
Right.
But other than that, it wasn't nothing.
You live what, that way?
No.
That way?
Yeah.
So you would have to come down here to go home.
Yeah. But see, after I had an organization within the organization,
Right.
the Maniac deal, they was me, they were my private army.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So, in other words, That was your world.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I guess you can kind of say like, this is my world.
yeah.
Yeah. And
The maniac was my world.
right. I
Yeah.
get it. So I say to the audience, welcome to my world.
Yeah. It's things that you do and you don't do, you know. Even though I have a history with Larry Hood, you're a personal friend of mine that I consider, you know. So, I've been knowing ever since we were little boys and shit. So now we grown men, one had a freedom, one have. So I'm just lucky, you know.
Right.
It's not something that one would brag about, but there's a change in time, you know. We both went through the same thing. So, you know, his level, I respect him as the chairman, as a leader, you know what I'm saying? He had to be someone strong, with a strong mind, a body, you know, to stand up against the elements that Fed putting in. Because in ADX, you know, that's 24 hours, man, right? In order to live that, you have to have a strong mind. That includes Jeff Ford, too. I knew both of them, Jeff and Damon. I consider both of them my friends, Jeff and the chairman, Prince Malik, that Jeff Ford, you know. I always have to say Prince Malik, the honorable chairman, you know, Larry Hood, you know. I'm always giving respect, you know, what they going through, what they been through, you know.
Right.
So, you know, you can't do nothing but applaud them. I'm not mean in a cheerful way, applaud them by being a man who's standing on their own, you know. Because a 24-hour lockup, you know, for 20 years, it will break a person, you know. So that's why I give them all the credit that a person needs. I wish I could do more, you know. He need justice. You know what I'm saying? They give this man 6 life sentences. Then he had 250 years. Come on, man. What social media trying to do? Do they try to help you or do they try to slander him? Just one of them things.
Wow.
So, you know, person, you know, I guess you have to have, I don't know, you know, 24 hours.
How old are you?
73.
Oh yeah. So you still young, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm 45. Well, at least I act like I'm 45. I may not look 45, but I'm taking care of myself in the best way I know how. That's like doing the thing that I do, you know?
Excellent.
So, you know, each to their own. They go their own self, you know?
So if you had to change one thing going back to when you was young, if you say, hey man, I could change one thing, what would it be?
If I had to change one thing, no. Not too much, because I don't regret too much. What would I change? That's a hard question. Because if I change one thing in life, then the role wouldn't be complete. Something has to be left out. And, you know, I don't think I'd change too much or anything.
Great answer.
You know, it's crazy. A person jump out there and say, he'll change this. I don't know. I probably wouldn't change anything because my life, I love my life, you know. What I did as a youth. Yeah, if anything, I said, damn, I wish I had more money. Or, you know, something that's feasible, you know.
All right.
But, you know, just to say, what would I change? Nothing, I guess. I would be missing out. I'd be missing out on something that would affect my way of living. So I don't know if anything that you say and not affect with the not affect with the more bad. No.
When God calls, the streets will fall. Black angels coming for